In this video, I'll show you how to solve this simple algebra problem. So this is a word problem, so let's underline our important information as we go through it. So Mary has 5/3 pounds of flour. If she uses 2 3/4 pounds of flour, to make cakes for her guests, how many pounds of flour does she have left? So our first important information is this. So she has this amount of flour in the beginning. So let's go ahead and write. Starting amount. Now, if she uses 2 3/4 pounds of flour to make cakes for her guests, now that means she's using 2 3/4 pounds of flour to make cake for her guests. So basically, this would be amount she is giving away. So this is the amount of flour, amount she is losing. So this is basically just the amount that she's losing or the amount that she's giving away. So and then our question in it is, how many pounds of flour does she have left? So how many pounds of flour does she have left? And immediately what you should see from this is we're given a starting amount, and then we're given an amount that she's lost, and the question is asking to find the final amount after she's lost it. So I'll go ahead and write that. So we have starting amount, starting number, minus losing number. What I mean by losing number is just the amount that she's losing, and that would be equal to remaining. Here. So that would be equal to the remaining amount. So starting amount minus losing amount equals remaining amount. And let's go ahead and just substitute in this equation. So what's our starting amount? 5 1/3 pounds. Now, how much is she losing? She's losing 2. Let me write that a little more clear. So she's losing 2 3/4 pounds. Now, how much is remaining? That's what we need to figure out. So basically what this is just you have to know how to subtract fractions. Now, the problem with this equation that we're given is we're given it in mixed. We're given in, what is it? It's just where there's a big number and then a fraction following. What we have to do is we have to make that number into a bigger number, into just one fraction, rather than to split. So we have 5 1/3. What happens is, the way we get rid of this is by taking this big number that we have, which is our 5, then you multiply it to the denominator of our fraction. So then we get equal to 15, and then you add it to your numerator of the fraction. So 15 plus 1 equals 16. And now 16, so now our final thing is 16. And then remember, you have to keep this denominator. Keep denom. So now we have 16/3. So basically 16/3 is what 5/3 is equal to. 5 1/3, sorry. 5 1/3, that's what it's equal to. Now let's do the same for our losing amount. Our losing amount is 2 3/4. Now what do we do with that now? So we have to do 2 3/4. Now you take the big number and you multiply it to the denominator of your fraction. So 2 times 4 is 8. and then you add that number to your numerator of your fraction. So that means 8 plus 3 equal to 11. And now we keep, now you keep denom. So now you have 11 over 4. That is what 2 3/4 is equal to. And now we've created 16 over 3 minus 11 over 4. So I'm just going to erase all this. So we have 16 over 3 minus 11 over 4. What's our first step to doing this, to solving this? What we have to do is we have to get like denominators. So what's our least common factor? Well, least common multiple, sorry. What's our least common multiple? Or LCM. That would be 12. So how do we get 12 from 3? We multiply by 4, and we have to do the same to the numerator, so that way it doesn't change the actual fraction. We're just making the fraction bigger, but it's still the same. If you reduce it, it would still get 16 by 3. Now, from 4, how do you get 12? You multiply by 3. Now 11, you have to do the same as you did on the denominator. Now what's this equal to? This is equal to, what's 16 times 4? We can write this out. What's 16 times 4? 64. Over 12 minus 11 times 3, 33 over 12. Now we've made like denominator, so we can subtract directly across. Now what's 64 minus 33? Now we have 1, then 3, 31. 31 over 12. So that would be 31 over 12 pounds. Now, this could count as your final answer, but a majority of the time, they're going to ask you to leave it. This is just a word problem, and there's no answer choices for this one. But if there are answer choices, more than likely, it'll be in the type of formatted way that they gave in the problem. In this case, we have a big number and then a smaller fraction. The answer that we've arrived to, we've gotten one big fraction. So, how do we take one big fraction and then make it into this type of number? What you have to do is, here, let's just write it out. 31 divided by 12. And then you have to find your least, now you have to find how many times 12 goes into 31. Now, what's 12 times 2? Well, 12 times 1, we'll start off with that. 12. Now, let's check. So, what's 12 times 1? Equals 12. 12 times 2, 24. 12 times 3 equal to 36. Now, 36, 12 times 3 has exceeded 31. So we can't use that. What we can do is, we can take the right next to it, the lowest one right under it, 12 times 2, that can become 24. So now, 24 is still viable. Now, what is this number here? What is this number that we multiplied and that kept on changing? 12 stayed the same, but 1, 2, and 3 changed. And what number are we using? We're using 2. 2. Now we're left with 24. So that would be 24. And now we have to do 31 minus 24. And now that would be 7, 2. And that cancels, so 7 over 12. This is our final answer. So just to recap, we start by writing it starting amount minus losing amount equals remaining amount. And then we take our bigger numbers. Then you do 5, 1/3, and then you convert that into a certain amount, which in this case was 16/3. And then you take 2/3, 2, and then 3/4, and then that becomes 11/4. And then you subtract. You make it like denominators, and then subtract from each other, and then you're left with this. Then you're left with that, and then you can turn that into a similar just how is in the problem. So that's how you solve this algebra problem. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch out for future videos. Thank you.